Is following ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa. The ANC President is leading in this operation cleanup and rebuilding following days of looting in various areas around the country. Our reporter Abongile is there. Brother Dumako, what are you witnessing there?
Well, certainly, Blaine, it's action now. The president of the ANC has arrived here at the Ndofaya Mall, actually being shown by officials the extent to which the damage has happened following that looting that we've seen coming out of this part of Gauteng. Well, as you can see, there's quite a lot of pushing taking place. We have social distancing all the time, but I can tell you for sure that the president has arrived. He's actually looking quite distraught and quite disturbed to what he's actually witnessing here. He's being shown by the officials. Let's probably take a listen to what they're saying now.
This side, and then where the stampede happened,
certainly quite difficult for the president to see the extent because of the fact that there's quite a lot of people, including us, that are trying to get every single shot of what's happening. But the president does look quite shocked at what he's seeing thus far. He does look quite, taken aback as to the extent at which the damage was caused here in Ndofaya Mall. We hope to hear a word from him a little later on, Blaine, as I was saying. He talk to us as to what's going to happen moving on and from what he is seen, having taken place here. We wait and see then. But yeah, certainly the president is being shown around the Ndofaya Mall here in Soweto.
Just give us an extent, Abongile, with regards to the damage of this mall.
The mall is quite severely damaged. We've seen just now the president being shown the ShopRite store here. People having sort of lifted up the burglar proof that is actually used to close the store. And of course I can see a Pep stores here literally empty, looted to the complete. There's a shop there, a cell phone shop that I'm seeing right in front of me here. I can certainly tell you for sure that it's been looted, it's been cleaned out. The damage is quite severe, I tell you now, Blaine. It remains also to be seen what the president is going to say regarding to what he's actually seen here. He's still being shown by the officials here from the region of the ANC as to basically what is happening. I'm sure you can hear that guy speaking on the loud speaker there. He's actually trying to tell us that as the media, let's give some way for the president. He's trying to push us back because they are saying that we are on a level 4 of the lockdown. We need to maintain social distancing. Literally, it's quite difficult to observe such because it's like they're walking in a passage and everybody wants to see what's happening, including the very officials surrounding the president, the law enforcement officials. You can see there's quite a lot of police surrounding him. They are actually also making it difficult for us to have the access as the media to actually be able to take those live visuals of the president. But yes, of course, I see Abongile Dumako in our view here. He's the head of presidency in the ANC. There's a Gauteng Premier, chairperson of the ANC in Gauteng as well, David Makura. They are part of this walkabout that is being conducted or taking place here with the president, Cyril Ramaphosa.
Abongile, the president is there in his capacity as president of the ANC. When he addressed the nation as president of the Republic a couple of days ago, addressing the security situation in the country, he said, let us use Mandela Day to provide food to the most vulnerable in our society. We've seen what's happening in Pietermaritzburg, where Makiketa Motlabe is. It's resonating there. He also mentioned that we need to clean up our streets and start the task of rebuilding. Is that resonating where you are among residents?
These people are moving out. Come, give them space. The media is coming out. Members come.
All right, it seems that we lost connection with Abongile Dumako, but he's following scenes at Ndofaya Mall. It's where ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa leading up this operation cleanup and rebuilding following days of looting, as you can see. And from reporting from Abongile Dumako is that mall was severely damaged We know that the ANC president, together with the national chairperson of the ANC, Mantashe, they're leading a team of members of the NEC on this cleanup and rebuilding program in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. And they are assessing the damage caused by the recent looting and vandalism and engaging with communities. Speaking about communities, Abongile Dumako is back with us. Abongile, I was just, speaking about the message from the President of the Republic when he addressed the nation. I mentioned that he's there currently where you are as president in his capacity as president of ANC. But when he addressed the nation, he spoke about Mandela Day and how we need to use this day to clean up our streets and start the task of rebuilding. My question to you is, from your assessment, given the temperature of views on the ground, is that resonating with the communities?
The community, in a nutshell, Blaine, has been actually sort of, for a lack of a better word, closed off away from the shopping mall, as the president is still conducting this walkabout here, trying to get a sense of what extent the damage is. Basically, when we sort of arrived here, trying to sort out how the communities feel about what happened. And of course, the sentiment is that it's not nice to have seen their mall being destroyed to this extent. And of course, we see things going back to normal following this devastating turn of events. However, with regards to the Nelson Mandela International Day, where one has to sort of hand a hand to the needy, the president has made it clear during his address the day before, 2 nights ago, saying that people must go all out. In fact, this is part of what he actually had called for. One was then with regard to the fact that now he's here wearing his ANC president cap, and of course, having said that, South Africans wearing his government cap as the president, saying that people now must come and actually give a hand to the needy. We don't know basically whether it's under the ANC now or it's under him as government, but the obvious thing, Blaine, is that he's here as a president of the ANC. And we also understand that this is not the only mall that he's going to visit. He's going to go to Abongile Mall to actually speak to locals there. You remember, Abongile Mall was not affected. One can only imagine that he seeks to actually say thanks to those who defended public property and said, no, it's not going to happen. So basically, the Nelson Mandela Day being observed in the sense that people are sort of awaiting to be given an opportunity to come here, be allowed inside, as they are still closed off, they are still sort of kept away from the mall. They are to come inside and actually take those brooms and continue with the mop-up operations, because one can also see that a lot of cleaning still needs to take place in as far as the dirt or the rubbish or the rubble that we see having been happening here in Ndofaya Mall.
The country is going through multiple challenges. COVID-19 is just one of it. It's a big one, exacerbating existing challenges. Worldwide, we know millions of people have lost their lives. What's the count now? Over 4 million? Over 4 million people have lost their lives due to COVID-19 related complications. Millions of people have lost their livelihoods. So it's this balance between lives and livelihoods when you take into consideration the level of lockdown that we need to go in. But are you getting a sense, as we see the ANC president doing his bit in order to clean up, are you getting a sense from people on the ground, from what you've been covering, that people are increasingly dependent now on one another to survive? Is that the sense you're getting? Is that the sentiment on the ground during this period of time?
Yes, absolutely. And that sense is quite evident. That sense is quite prevalent. People are now looking onto the very government, by the ANC, to actually pave a way forward for them, if you like, give them a bit of a green light as to basically what are the plans, what is it that they seek to do moving on to actually meet those who have lost their livelihoods as a result of the pandemic, with regards to basically what's going to be the next, agenda, looking at the fact that now people have lost jobs, people have not having a direction as to what they're going to do moving on. President Ramaphosa certainly has got a lot to juggle around as far as the economy is concerned, to make it a point that the damage that we see having been caused by the looting on top of a pandemic that has also caused quite havoc when it comes to the livelihoods and people losing their jobs. It's got a lot of things to sort of put on the table and make sure that the economy is revived. For the locals on the ground, it will take a lot of convincing, if you understand what I'm trying to say, for them to believe that actually something is going to happen. So we wait and see for the president to actually divulge plans moving forward as to basically what are they going to do regarding this. It seems that he's going to talk. I'm trying to reach to where he is so that I can put the microphone, we can hear what he has to say.
We are too far. We are too far. We are too far.
Yeah, you can just lift your cameras up, please.
You have to put our mic.
I mean for radio as well, please.
Let's go.
Okay, guys, let's push forward. We're moving towards the gate. Which way we going? Yes, we're going through here now.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Only President Ramaphosa, long live. The President is here. Yes. Mr. President, over to you.
Amandla phambili ngama-volunteer phambili ngokuklina phambili phansi ngabotsotsi phansi ngaboluthas phansi Amandla sanibonani niyaphila no nami ngiyaphila ngijabule kakhulu to have the time to come to be amongst you. Let me start off by thanking you all for wearing your masks. Phambili ngama masks phambili phinde futhi nginibonge about umsebenzi enowenzayo la. I want to thank you for coming together as a community, but also to defend the place that creates jobs, the place where people, even amongst our people who conduct business here. Thank you very much for standing firm as a community and saying that you will not allow people from outside to come and do wrong things here. I thank you for that. As we have said, we did not respond in time in a way that we should have. If the responding is now the devastation may not have taken place. the funeral which family needs, and we want to strengthen our law enforcement officers. I also want to thank the premier family of our family. I want to thank the premier and MECs and local government councillors and officials who were able to respond and mobilize our people. Sometimes it was in time, sometimes it was a bit late, but the important thing was that we mobilized people to use our structures, the African National Congress, the community, and all that. Community associations, as well as trade. And I also want to thank the business chamber, who stood up to come also and help, and are now also helping with the cleaning. All those who came and assisted and cleaned up, I'm told this place was so badly devastated, and but I also want us to dip our heads now and have a moment of silence for Labubantu Abayelabe Abashonana. Let's dip our heads, observe a moment of silence for those who passed away. We are sorry that a number of our people who praised the Republic the other day, which only about 212, President of ANC mandate. President of the Republic, we were the other day. We are very sorry about our actually, and we are going to give them the assistance that they need to go through this very sad moment. To comrades, the Senator Manager, who they were trying to defend this mall and other malls that he manages. And I want to thank his bravery which was on the ground continuously. We are all really concerned about what happened here. But we are also saying we have learned valuable lessons. We have learned important lessons. The most important lesson would be in the end. We must tighten up our security forces, but we must also ensure that the defense of our democracy is firmly in the hands of our people. And it is you, the people of our country, who will continue to defend that democracy. The people who organized this, who coordinated this, were so well organized. They came with air grinders, they came with guns, they came with all manner of things. And they were essentially trying to attack our democracy and to ravish our constitution. And we must never allow them, never, ever allow anyone to destroy our democracy. Now the next step for us is to rebuild. We must rebuild We've learned valuable lessons here. We must rebuild. We must rebuild from an economic point of view. Find a way of supporting the workers. We must also support the businesses that have lost a lot here. And we will act together to make sure that we defend and we rebuild. I also want to thank the religious community because our police, in addition to praying, have been coming forward, offering advice, offering suggestions, and we thank them for that. So, comrades, not only we can move forward, and other people are saying, now as our Africans, we are more united than we have been in the past. This incident has really united us. It has solidified us, and we must emerge out of this much, much stronger and much more capable than we were before this incident happened. And all I can say is that we shall never be defeated, because a united people will never be defeated. And that's the whole song. Now, I'm the wrong
Right, the president of the ANC there, Cyril Ramaphosa, addressing some people that have gathered in the Ndofaya Mall. As you know, this mall was damaged due to the unrest, the looting. Basically, the president of the ANC thanking the community for standing firm and against the looting. He says, reiterating the message that he shared with us a couple of days ago when he spoke to us in his capacity as president, saying that this was well-organized attack and we must not let anyone destroy our democracy, he says. And remember, when he addressed the nation as president, he says while the security forces are essential to restoring order and stability, he said this assault on our democracy will ultimately fail. Why? He says because the people of South Africa will not allow it. And he says if we stand together, no insurrection or violence in this country will succeed. So he's got a pretty busy day as president of the ANC, moving around various areas, visiting various areas on Mandela Day. It's a cleanup operation, trying to rebuild in terms of the livelihoods that were lost, potentially lost due to the looting. He will be assessing the damage as well. We will try to... Do we have Abongile on the line? Because I see a large number of people have gathered there in order to, one would assume, engage with the president of the ANC. Do we have audio on this? All right, let's listen in. You'll remember the promise or the commitment that the president made in his address to the nation a couple of days ago with regards to holding those accountable for the unrest that this country has experienced this week. He said, we will extinguish the fires that are raging and stamp out every last ember. We will identify and act against those who lit the flame and those who spread it, and we will find those who instigated this violence. They will be held accountable for their deeds. You saw the Minister of Police, Becky Cele, in KwaZulu-Natal yesterday engaging with the people there, the community. They're voicing their concerns with regards to safety issues. He also promised that those who were taking part in this unrest or instigated it will be held accountable. I wonder if it is indeed resonating with communities around the country, this commitment that the president has made to the nation. Look, it's a ripple effect in terms of the consequences of such unrest and such looting. The president did mention that social partners have been meeting to discuss a range of measures which can be implemented to provide immediate relief, I guess, within the fiscal means. And these include the provision of emergency food relief and other assistance to those in greatest distress. You heard a report from Mark Motlabe in KwaZulu-Natal, in Pietermaritzburg, with regards to people coming together and providing help and assistance. A number of organizations have put their hands up in order to assist those in need. Let's listen to this.
Not the time to be casting blame on that one and that one and that one. Now we must be united and make sure what we do does not happen again. Never happen again. So we're trying to redefend it, and we must work hard for it to come. molo e ke a lona re batla gore bang ba yona re ba thuse gore e tsoge le bao ba sebetsang mo re batla gore ba ska latlhegelwa ke mesebetsi a ke re go jalo tshwanetse gore re thusane re sebetse mmogo so ke a le leboga gaobane re tshwanetse re ya ko Jabulani re tswa mo re ya ko Maponya Mall so go na le dimolo tse ngata tse tshwanetse re ye mo tsone ke a leboga diaba di bua batho botlhe
Mr. President, what do you make of this interaction?
Hold the line, please.
Try speaking to the president.
Just hold the line. The line, please block.
From this side.
Open up.
All right, ANC President Soweto Maposa engaging with community members there. He is at the Ndofaya Mall. His next stop, we understand, according to a program that we are seeing, could change. Next stop is Abongile Mall and then the Maponya Mall as well. This is called, it's being billed as he's leading an operation cleanup and rebuilding following days of looting. So we will track the president, the ANC president, give you the very latest with regards to his interactions with the community. What more can he offer us in terms of this rebuilding that he's talking about, the cleanup operations that he is talking about? Abongile Dumako is live for us there. He is following the president, so we will get the very latest from him, as well as all our other reporters. We have reporters fanned across the country with regards to Mandela Day. What is happening in your community? How has Mandela Day changed for you this year? Given what we've gone through as a country over the past week, we've been seeing looting, destruction. We're also going to bring in very shortly the MEC for Education in KwaZulu-Natal with regards to damage to schools in that province. We're going to get the state of play on the ground as well, get a sense of how many schools were damaged, the level of concern going into the next week. We will bring him in, get the very latest.